You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. What on earth does that mean? There's no actual real explanation for what that means. The Bible doesn't say a lot about salt, but obviously Jesus is saying you're the salt of the earth. And here's what I believe it's saying. It's that, God said to Abraham, all nations on earth will be blessed through you, through your seed, through Christ. And so salvation came through the Jews, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who became Israel, became the Jewish nation, and then Christ came through the Jewish nation. But salvation came through the Jews, but it wasn't supposed to just stop at the Jews and them just live under the law forever. No, it was the Messiah, the seed, was supposed to come through the Jews so that all nations can be blessed. And so Jewish people actually are the salt of the earth. Through the Jewish people, all the earth is going to be salted with the love of God, with the grace of God, with the righteousness of God. And it says, but if you lose your saltiness, what good are you? It's like they'd stopped believing that God wanted to reach the nations, that God wanted to save the nations. They lost their saltiness under religion and under law and under works, and they were no longer relevant for the rest of the world. What's the rest of the world going to do with Israel just wanting to live under the law? That's not going to salt the earth. It's not going to reach the earth. No, God had called Israel to be the salt of the earth, that through them salvation was going to come. And so Israel today, come on, it's not just about the law and following that. Christ, the Messiah, is here. God's salvation plan is moving ahead. Salvation is coming to the Gentiles. It's coming through Christ. And you need to believe in this and step into it and transition, move out of just Moses and unbelief and cross the Jordan, transition and come into the promised land and, come into the grace of God and the faith of God, because that is what's going to save the world. The law was only given to the Jews, not the rest of the world, but the law couldn't save. And so the law couldn't save the rest of the world. The thing that's going to save the world, be salt to the world, is Christ, the Messiah. But he's coming through the Jews. Now, Jews, receive it, believe it, and put your faith in it, and transition into it. But if they rejecting it, if they reject Christ, they reject God's salvation plan, it's like, how are you going to be salt to the earth? It's like, no, you were called to be salt. Salvation is coming through the Jews. Now move with God's salvation plan and you will be salty. And he says, you'll be thrown out and trampled underfoot. And I believe he's speaking about the religious people that don't transition, that want to stay in works. They want to stay under Moses, want to stay trying to earn their righteousness. And that's where you lose your saltiness. And it's like, you can't be saved under that. It's only through Christ. Salvation comes through Christ. And if you want to stay in that stuff and miss out on Christ, reject Christ, then all that's going to happen is you're going to be thrown out, trampled underfoot.